Just last year at our 20th anniversary celebration, we look back on the amazing things God has accomplished, starting with Pastor Tony's conversion in Okinawa, Japan, to calling him to ministry, to starting Calvary Chapel Newport News in 1994, to our current ministry here at our Denby campus. Our church exists to teach the good news of Jesus Christ to the lost and to the found, and it is amazing to reflect on how God has used this ministry.
Each week we have over 2,500 adults, youth, and children in attendance representing over 30 different nations. In the last year, we baptized close to 100 new believers and discipled over 300 members in small groups. We support our overseas ministry partners in Africa and Panama, as well as provide financial support to 41 orphans at the Morning Star Orphanage in Kenya. We minister to thousands who are homeless, elderly, recently released from prison, families in crisis, or children in need through our community outreach and benevolence efforts. We support our military members through monthly care packages. The Word Made Plain radio ministry is successfully broadcasting to over 20 stations across the country and around the world, and the Calvary Chapel Christian Academy has grown from 15 children to 55 students, currently ranging from preschool to first grade.
It is mind-blowing to think about how God has chosen Calvary Chapel Newport News to have such an impact and is still continuing to expand this ministry. We believe it is because we are faithful to our mission and to God's commission of reaching lost people. We are faithful to the preaching and teaching of His Word to grow people to spiritual maturity. And we are faithful to meeting the needs of those who are hurting.
We have been praying that God would expand our territory, and He has been faithful to answer us. We are exactly where God wants us to be right now. This is a defining moment in life of our church as we pursue what God has chosen for our path as a church. After much prayer, fasting, and searching, God made available to us a building that is just 1.5 miles away. We call it the Eustis Campus. We have been updating you on the progress that we have been making to prepare this building for service, and we are now at a critical junction. We borrowed $2.1 million to purchase and stabilize the building. Now it is going to take even more prayer and the combined efforts of all 2,500 members to finalize the build-out of the Eustis Campus and make God's plan a reality. The Eustis Campus expansion is a catalyst for revival.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm rededicating my life to the Lord because He's brought me out of sexual immorality and my drug addiction. I rededicated my life to Him in November of last year, and now I have a peace and joy that I've never experienced before.
Before I also came to Calvary Chapel, I didn't know who Jesus was. I needed help. I didn't know who He was. I didn't know He died on the cross for my sins. And I didn't listen to my parents really often. Then when I came to Calvary Chapel, a whole new life came into me. Calvary Kingdom has just changed my life so much. I feel like I haven't, been the same. I feel like I have these teachers that care for me, love me. I have these songs that just changed my life. I knew about Jesus. I wanted to give my life to Him. I felt like nothing else could change me, but He changed me for me.
It would be easy to look at the past and current impact that Calvary has had and just hold fast. However, God has put it upon Pastor Tony's heart to ask the question, how many more stories like this are waiting out there, waiting for us to show them the light and love of Jesus Christ? We are now going to embark on a spiritual journey called Reaching 757. Reaching 757 is the campaign name given for this explosive move of God to see lives transformed in the 757 area and beyond, to see an increase in the number of members who serve in ministry, and to see the funds raised in about 5 to 7 years to build our new Eustis campus. This is a God-sized vision. It is bigger than all of us, but it is not too big for God. All He needs is people with ears to hear, eyes to see, and hearts to understand His purpose.
This is a gentle reminder to silence all electronic devices. Also, visitors, please complete and turn in a visitor's card at one of our welcome centers before leaving. And finally, if you need to leave the East Auditorium during service, we ask that you please gather your belongings and continue to enjoy the message in our West Auditorium.